on to the energy of the fluid. Okay, so you can write it down, the next heading, energy of the fluids. Energy of the fluid, that means we are going to check whether they have kinetic energy, potential energy, or pressure energy. Since pressure is a factor, apart from kinetic and potential energy, they also will have another type of energy that is known as pressure energy. So these are the two energies. We are going to get an expression, and after that only we can go to the Bernoulli's theorem. Okay. So energies of fluid in a flow. So for that, it is not mentioned so much in your textbook. So you can draw this picture because they are directly went to the Bernoulli's theorem. But we need to understand that. So that is what. So please draw the diagram what I am drawing in that. So energies of a fluid in a flow. So you can consider consists of a beaker, and there's a piston at the bottom. So this is piston, and the piston started moving to from this position. So there's a small displacement del x. And you can just write mass. M is equal to mass of the fluid. Okay, that's all. So already you have learned that every matter in the universe have obeys conservation of energy. Thus, fluid also have kinetic energy. Suppose if it is flowing, just now if you press the piston, sometimes the water can fall. Water can flow out of the beaker. Okay. So once they flow, they are gaining kinetic energy. But before flowing, they are at a stationary position. You know, in the tank, water tank and all, unless you don't open the tap, the water will not flow. So at that position, it is also having a potential energy. So there's no doubt about fluid also has both kinetic energy and potential energy. It is only transforming. Potential energy started transforming into kinetic energy when it started flowing. At the same time, for this flowing of this liquid, we need to exert a force. That is the piston does. The piston does giving a force on the fluid. So that is the reason it is flowing. So once it is applying the force, it is applying in a particular area. So by Pascal's law, if you apply in a particular point, that pressure will be transmitted to everywhere. So as a result of it, what is happening? The water starts flowing. Okay. Thus, it is having a energy due to pressure. Energy due to pressure. But simply, that term pressure energy, it is actually a new term. This is for understanding only. We are using the word pressure energy. Afterwards, you will come to know pressure energy and the pressure both are same. So that is the relation with it. So since we are discussing in the form of energy of the fluid, we are giving a name pressure energy. So this pressure is exerting. That is the reason the liquids which is at potential energy converting into kinetic energy, it starts flowing. So this is what happens when you open the tap. Okay, whenever you open the tap, you are giving a pressure. As a result, the water is flowing from the tank through the tunnel, clear, through the pipe. So that's the idea. Okay, so you can write down. An ideal liquid in a steady flow An ideal liquid, an ideal liquid in a steady flow. So here also we are discussing streamline flow only. That is why in a steady flow has kinetic energy, because of its speed, has kinetic energy because of its speed. Thus, for a mass m, thus, next line, for a mass m of a liquid with velocity v, have kinetic energy Ke is equal to half mv square. Next line, kinetic energy per unit volume of liquid. So always we take it for a small quantity, then we generalize the equation. Next line, kinetic energy per unit volume of liquid, that is 1 meter cube liquid. We can write it per unit volume is half mv square divided with the volume. So half mv square, v is small letter v and volume is capital V. So make it that capital V little bigger so that you will understand which is velocity, which is volume. Half m v squared by v. Now, what is this mass per unit volume, Nandana? Mass per unit volume equal to which quantity? Density. Yes, correct. So, we can have this equation. Kinetic energy per unit volume actually is equal to half into density into the square of the velocity. So, that is equation 1. So kinetic energy per unit volume for a steady flow is, instead of writing half mv square, because mass usually come in terms of solid mechanics. In fluids, we always talk in terms of density, pressure, force. The term mass sometimes we don't use. Why? We are using liter. 1 liter of liquid, 1 milliliter of a milk. So that is why we are converting that into in terms of density and pressure. Okay. So that is the equation, kinetic energy per unit volume for the fluid flow in terms of density and velocity, half rho v square. It is actually equal to solid mechanics, half mv square. You are getting an analogy. How you got an analogy? Rotational motion and the one-dimensional motion in the volume 1. Similarly, we are going to get an analogy between mechanics, solid mechanics and the fluid mechanics. Clear? Okay. Now, next, potential energy. So write down. Next sentence. If the fluid is stationary at a particular height h, above the earth's surface, then it possesses potential energy. Thus, potential energy is equal to, potential energy of the fluid is equal to, we can write it mgh. Then potential energy per unit volume of the fluid. If you are talking about the liquid, you can write out liquid also, no problem. Since our equation is, our picture is liquid, so you can write it instead of fluid, liquid. Again, it is going to be mgh by volume. Again, are you getting m by v again? So what is going to happen? Potential energy per volume of the liquid or fluid. What transition taking place in this equation? Tell me, anyone?
Rho GH.
Yes, correct. So you are getting potential energy per unit volume of liquid also rho GH. So that is equation 2. Next line, since for the conversion of energy, from stationary fluid into conversion of energy from a stationary fluid into fluid in motion, fluid will be experiencing a force. Fluid will be
stationary fluid
into a fluid in motion. Stationary fluid into a fluid in motion. The fluid has to be experienced a force. The fluid has to experience the force. That means it will be exerted by a pressure. It will be exerted by a pressure in a unit area. Pressure in a unit area. The next line. Consider the above figure. Consider the above figure. Consider the above figure. In which a liquid contained in a vessel, liquid contained in a vessel, fitted with a piston, at the bottom. Piston at the bottom. Next line. The liquid will exert a pressure. The liquid will exert a pressure on the piston from inside with the help of a force,
Can you repeat that line?
Next line. The liquid will exert a pressure. The liquid will exert a pressure on the piston from inside with a force, then the piston is pushed piston is pushed through a distance delta x outwardly, delta x outwardly, then if it experiences a equal force, if we experience a equal force on the piston inwardly by Newton's third law, okay, by inwardly the work done on the piston W is equal to pressure into E del X. In bracket, you can write work done. You already learned force into displacement. So liquid is exerting a force on the piston, and you know by Newton's third law, there is also a outside the piston also it is experiencing a force which is pushing the piston inwardly. Okay, so that you understood. So how you get the equation? By this equation Fs. How? Because we know pressure is equal to F by area. So the force is equal to Pa. So that is why I have written the letter Pa. And instead of S, what we are having? At what that displacement taking place? Del X. So work done is equal to Pa del X. And since energy is the capacity to do work, we consider this work done as pressure energy. So that is what the concept of pressure energy is coming, because we are incorporating equation of pressure here in this. So that is why the equation turned into pressure energy. So pressure energy Pa del X. So you can write once again pressure energy capital P, potential energy P. Pressure energy you write capital P alone. P is equal to, you can write down Pa del X. Thus pressure per unit volume. Pressure per unit volume is equal to Pa del X by volume.
Ma'am,
Yes.
is it pressure energy per unit volume?
Yes, pressure energy per unit volume. That's why you use P. Pressure energy per unit volume. And what is this A del X, children? Area into length. What is that? In equation of continuity, we are used to that term. What it's supposed to be? Area into, suppose del X we consider as a length. Then area into length equal to which quantity? If you understand equation of continuity, we are used the same phrase over there. Any idea? At least turn the pages and see where we got A del X, that word. Yes, Gauri, you are saying something. Unmute and tell me.
Volume.
Yes, correct. Yeah. You are thinking in the right direction. So say it. Okay. So its area del X actually is equal to volume. So that is what I told. This and this can get cancelled. So pressure energy actually equal to the pressure. That is why we don't speak this term locally, pressure energy. We always talk kinetic energy, potential energy, pressure. But we know when you apply the pressure, you are giving energy. If you have that a sponge in you, you dip it in the water, you wanted to squeeze it, you are applying the pressure by squeezing it. Actually, what you do, your muscular energy is actually converting into pressure energy over there. So that is what, when you squeeze it, the water is fall. Now you got pressure energy actually equal to the pressure, the magnitude of pressure, how much pressure you apply. Clear? So that's what I told you. Pressure energy is a term, is a new term, but we don't use because of this. Clear? Okay. So that is equation 3. So total energy of the fluid will be sum of all this energy. Okay? Thus, by conservation law of energy, conservation law of energy, total energy in a fluid in motion equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy plus pressure energy. I don't use the word, I use P. Now substitute by substituting equation 1 and 2 and 3. Substitute equation 1, 2 and 3. You can just write half rho V square plus rho G H plus P. So this is the total energy of the fluid in motion. Okay, so here actually this all three energy is converting according to the situation. What is the use of it according to the situation? It is applicable in the, we are using this in terms of the situation. Okay. Yes. So next is Bernoulli's principle. We may not able to complete, so I'll just give you the statement. Otherwise, I'll skip that one. The next class, I will give you the derivation of the Bernoulli's equation. So we go to the another set of equation to find out the speed of the flow. Okay, speed of the flow according to Torricelli's on the basis of equation of continuity. That's what we are moving on to. On the basis of this only, that also. Clear? So next heading, we can move on to speed of efflux. Efflux means, you know, the magnitude and only let me use the word flux. So here it is talking about efflux. Speed of efflux. In bracket, you can write Torricelli's law. Speed of efflux or Torricelli's law. So it is not, we don't have much derivation over there. We only have to understand that, and then you learn the equation, how to find out that. That's it. So what do you mean by efflux? Efflux means outflow. So this is what we tell you. Suppose a amount of liquid is flowing out of the pipe. Flowing out of the pipe. How can you find out that amount of flow? It may not necessary for us to find out enter. For example, you are sending a 1 liter of petrol through a pipe. Just imagine. You have gone to petrol pump, no? So there is a system over there. So that is also a hydraulic system based on the fluid dynamics. That is also a hydraulic system based on the fluid mechanics. And you can see that the petrol is inserting into the tank. Depending upon your money. Suppose you are paying for 100 rupees, that much only. So nowadays, 1 liter of petrol is 83. So if you suppose you pay 100 rupees, you will get 1 liter of petrol plus something extra. Because rupees is, you are giving 100. But you wanted petrol for per liter is 83 rupees. You are buying the petrol for 100. So when you go to the petrol pump, the people over there are filling your tank for 100 rupees. So it is coming from underground, very large tank. That petrol station is on the top of the petrol tank. Okay. So it is an underground tank. It is full of tons of, liters of tons of petrol is collected over there. You know it very well. So how this hydraulic machine will understand, identify in 100 rupees how much petrol wanted in your tank. So that is where this Torricelli's law comes. So you have to find out outflow. Inflow, what is the inflow? Inflow of the tank is maybe that one full petrol tanker which comes from other states. It's filled there. So that is inflow. Each person is going and filling the car and the motorbike over there according to your money. So how much we will identify this person require this much, this tank. So for that only the word efflux, outflow. So how can you find out that? Understood? So what is the application of that Torricelli's law in our daily life? Okay? Yes. So write down. According to Torricelli, the speed of the efflux from an open tank is given by a formula. From an open tank is given by a formula identical to that of a freely falling body. Identical to that of a freely falling body. Identical to that of a freely falling body. That means tank is underground. You are on the top and you have to fill the petrol tank from the underground to the top surface. So acceleration due to gravity is a matter over there. Why? Because pressure also depending upon G. So this is connected. That's why it is, you can think about a identical to a freely falling body. So to understand that, we just write, consider a tank. Next line. Consider a tank containing a liquid of density rho. Consider a tank containing a liquid of density rho with a small hole, in its side at a height y1, from the bottom. So you can talk, you can think about, imagine about the underground petrol tank. Okay. With a small hole in its side at a height y1 from the bottom. The air above the liquid. Next line. Next line. The air above the liquid. The air above the liquid. The air above the liquid. Whose surface is liquid, whose surface is at a height y2, at a height y2, is at pressure P, is at pressure P, pressure P. Thus, by equation of continuity, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, where A1 and A2 are the area of cross section, related to liquid surface,
Ma'am,
yes,
can you say again, ma'am?
Wh-
A1 is
A-
A1 V1 is equal to
A1 and A2 equal to, A1 and A2 are the area of cross section, relating to corresponding height of the liquid surfaces, y1 and y2 respectively. Corresponding height y1 and y2 of the surface, liquid surface respectively. Okay. Thus, similarly, V1 and V2 corresponding, V1 and V2 is the corresponding velocity of corresponding area. Corresponding velocity of corresponding area. Thus, V2 is equal to A1 V1. From this equation, what is V2? V2 is equal to A1 V1 by A2. A1 V1 by A2. And assume A2 is very much greater than A1. It's natural because A2 is the area cross section above the liquid surface where atmospheric pressure is exerting. A1 is the small area of that opening, side opening. A2 is the area where the liquid surface open to the air. That is top part of the liquid. So assume A2 very much greater than A1. So we consider the fluid is at rest. We consider fluid is at rest at the top surface because this small area and have no effect on this large area. So that is why we consider the fluid is at rest. Why? The reason is that pressure is inversely proportional to area. For large area, less pressure. For small area, large pressure. So in the small opening, pressure will be exerted by the liquid will be more than the pressure on the top surface. You got it? Because of area. So if the pressure and velocity is related, so naturally, if the pressure is less, then the fluid at that top surface, which is open to the atmosphere, we take it as also rest. So that is the meaning. Thus, what we can write? We have written V2 is equal to A1 V1 by A2. What do you mean by that? That is V2 is equal to 0 meter per second. I think you have got the idea why we take it V2. So factors affecting is very important to get the connectivity between the topics. Clear? Okay. Okay, children, I am now winding up the session. I think other teacher is waiting. So we'll continue with it next class. Okay. Thank you.